Hey, this is Star Illumination. It's September 12th today, 2023. I'm doing this for the record. I feel that I have to do it. I just do my routines in the morning, and when I open up as early as I can, and I check global news as far and wide as I can. Some days I'm like, yeah, well, what did I expect? Yeah, what did I tell you? Some days I go like, what? I knew such and such and such was happening. Of course, I blame it on the planets. You can forecast some of this stuff, but sometimes when some of these reports and stories come out, even I'm blown away by some of the stories, the reality that I'm seeing. So I don't know where to start. There's a whole list of stuff just from today. So I'm just going to break it down into a few chunks. First of all, I want to go over here. This is where we do all the grunt work. This is my astrodoodle for today. As usual, we got the big, fat, hard T-square between the nodal axis and Pluto and Capricorn. Also right now, we still have Mercury retrograde, but it's on the cusp going direct. So we still have Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, all a retrograde. Big fat wall of retrogrades right here. Okay, and in a couple of days we've got the Virgo new moon. So the moon is here right now in Leo, late degrees. This is a very, very important, significant degree for me personally, and I would say I am feeling it. Think of the moon, feelings, and so on. Anyway, I feel like I'm heavily triggered at this moment in time. I know it's just another day of astrodoodles, another day in the news, and all things fade as new things are born, but just for right now, I felt the need to comment. With all these retrogrades, as we talked about months ago, we're going to see a lot of revealing for the healing. There's going to be so much sludge and putrid stench of anything and everything that's wrong, because anything that can go wrong will go wrong. And when you just deal with Mercury retrograde, typically, oh, it's my car didn't start. Oh, my emails got backfired. Oh, I wrote the wrong words to the wrong person, and now I'm being embarrassed because I said things that I didn't mean to say. Or I said things that I meant to say, but I would never have communicated them directly. Oh no, oh no, oh no, and so on. Classic Mercury retrograde. But just imagine when you add Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto on top of that. They each have their own versions of what goes wrong during the retrograde. I mean, that would be like a 4-hour movie. Could do an hour for each one, but anyway. The thing that kind of grabs me the most is this energy over here. The Pisces vibes, the Neptune vibes, the Saturn vibes, the 12th house. The 12th house is the house of hidden enemies. And right now the hidden enemies are being outed because the sun is like a big powerful flashlight opposing the 12th house. The sun is in the 6th house, Virgo. Practicalities, let's say healthcare tasks, the energy of the nurse, the energy of the caretaker, the energy of the cleaner-upper, the energy of the fixer, to do what has to be done, because there is so much of all the unhealthy expressions here being exposed. I see it in terms of betrayal, corruption, lies, theft, bribery, blackmail, sickness, disease, insanity, self-abuse, drug addiction, suicide, unexplained illness, and on and on and on. And it's all happening on the global stage right now. And you can imagine what I'm talking about. Okay, it's like we have a brand new agenda. We have a brand new bug that's going to be released across the world. It's it's not just naturally occurring, as we figured out by now, 3 years later, since January 2020, 3.5 years, it's all planned out. Anyway, so I'm focusing on this section here for now. I wanted to bring up a few things. Let's see if I can squash this into one. I'm just going to make short videos. The ultimate betrayal. Okay, I'm just going to pop over here. Probably the most ultimate betrayal you can have in America at the national scale for America itself is the betrayal of our freedom, the betrayal of our Constitution, the betrayal of the elected administrators to abide by the Constitution, and they sign an agreement, an oath to abide and hold up the Constitution. And of course, if you've got your eyes open, you'll understand that our beautiful thing that we have in America, I've shown this many times, okay, this is very, very unique across the world. This is the enemy of tyranny, okay? The tyrants are out there in full swing. You know who they are, the big, nasty ones. They're all the tyrants, the dictators, the communists, the Marxists, the extreme, I'm just going to call it out, the extreme hardcore lefties, which are actually supported by some extremely ultra-hardcore right-wingers who pretend to be right-wing. Those are the rhinos. They are showing their true colors about how utterly treacherous they are towards the place which gives them the freedom and the abundance that we have in America today. And I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, people, but Uncle Joe, the person who's supposed to be the world leader of freedom of speech, and the representation of our beautiful Constitution, he's the ultimate traitor. Talk about treason, treachery, sedition, all those things committed, provable, okay? Now coming to the surface. And it's been very, very difficult because there's a lot of people, even on the right-wing side, who pretend to be very concerned about this stuff, but they're not, because they're actually more concerned about the status quo and keeping their little gravy trains going. They want to perpetuate the status quo of what they call the uniparty here in America. But anyway, what it comes down to is this. As of today, there's a fellow called Kevin McCarthy. He's the Speaker of the House. He represents the right wing, so to speak. You could call it conservatives. You can lump it up with all sorts of other groups. And they have formally stated that they're opening the impeachment inquiry into Uncle Joe. And this is going to take steps a very significant notch farther, because it gives the House Senate Committee the right of subpoena power to force government entities or anybody to hand over relevant information regarding the treachery and betrayal of America by Uncle Joe and his associates. So it's getting scary time. Well, it's actually very beautiful. I'm very happy to see this. It's a very slow-moving process, and hard right-wing conservatives have been calling for this moment for a long time, but there's still a long way to go, because an impeachment inquiry is not an actual impeachment. To get a full, locked, solid impeachment, it has to be proven in a court of law, the ultimate court of law. So we'll see how the story goes, but I was personally, I'm just letting you know, I was very happy to read this news. You know where I stand. And in a way, I'm almost sorry for the people who are realizing how bad things are in this country. And they are openly seeing, and if you study what I study, you'll see that even the most extreme, hardcore, left-wing mainstream media they're like this, like, we got to admit it, Uncle Joe's going this way. It's bad. We don't know what to do. Anyway, you can do your own research and study that. I'm going to call in this video right now. I just wanted to get that story out there. It's a very important story. You can do your own research. You can check it. It happened early this morning, the day after the House Senate came back from holiday. So it's just changed the whole political landscape in America. Even President Putin is laughing. He's going like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Because he even commented how embarrassing it is. It's just embarrassing to watch what's happening here in America. But of course, he's laughing. Thank you very much for watching, people.